Okay, let's unpack this one. Have you ever felt that despite everything, all our progress, something fundamental just feels lost? Maybe a shared sense of humanity or like a deeper purpose. Well, today we're diving into a piece of music that confronts these exact questions. It's pretty intense. Our source is a YouTube music video. It's called Bingx Jesus,
Yeah.
a response to the Charlie Kirk debate official music video. And we're really going to focus on the lyrics here. They're raw, passionate, and offer this really sharp critique and maybe a call to action
Yeah.
about, modern values.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission today is basically to explore the artist's message impartially, try and pull out the core insights about how society's behaving, individual responsibility, that search for meaning we all kind of feel. And we should say up front, the language is intense, very
Right.
direct. So expect, a thought-provoking look at some strong opinions. This isn't just background music. It feels more like a manifesto.
Right, a manifesto. And the artist, wow, they don't waste any time. Right from the start, it's like, bang,
Yeah.
straight to the core issue. It's this incredibly direct appeal, almost like a plea, really grabs you. They say very bluntly, y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. Go learn about faith. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. Go learn about grace. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. Learn how to give thanks. Y'all people need Jesus. Go sit down and pray.
Mm-hmm. And what's really fascinating here, I think, is how it's framed. It's not presented as just a religious thing, or like join this specific church. When you dig deeper, the insight seems to be that faith and grace for the artist are maybe more like fundamental human infrastructure, like an internal compass we need, especially now. And they explicitly say, this ain't political. This shit is evil. That's a really clear line they draw.
Right, away from politics. Why do you think they make that separation so strongly? What's the significance of saying, this ain't political?
Well, it feels like the artist believes that once these core human values get tangled up in politics and tribalism, they lose their universal power, maybe. Politics often divides, right? So by saying not political, they're trying to lift the conversation to something more foundational. It's not about left or right policy. It's a crisis of the human spirit, as they seem to see it. And it encourages you, listening, to think about what faith or grace could mean more broadly, beyond just church, maybe faith in humanity or your own moral code. Just finding that deeper purpose, whatever your politics are, it's about that inner stability.
That makes sense, that inner stability. And it seems this despair, this raw feeling about lost humanity, it really deepens as they look around, right, at what they're observing. They sound genuinely disgusted, frustrated. They say, I've been disgusted by what I've been seeing. The lack of humanity got me on tilt. How are you going to celebrate somebody dying because you don't agree with the things that they feel? The value of life is low. Humanity's dying and nobody's keeping it real.
Yeah, and that's more than just complaining, isn't it? It's a really sharp critique, this idea that the value of human life itself is diminishing, that genuine connection, authenticity, it's fading. The artist is zeroing in on this, disturbing trend where disagreeing with someone's ideas turns into celebrating their suffering. That's seen as a massive moral failure. The insight there is how quickly things can slide, from debating ideas to basically dehumanizing people. And that erodes the very humanity, they say, is on tilt, and nobody's keeping it real. That points to this kind of pervasive phoniness, maybe, a gap between what we say we value and how we actually act.
It's such a raw observation, something a lot of us probably wrestle with. What deeper things in society do you think they're pointing to with this lack of humanity, this not keeping it real?
Well, it feels like they're touching on the erosion of, I guess, civic empathy, the ability to see the human in someone you strongly disagree with. It's not about agreeing with them. It's about recognizing a shared worth. And when life's value depends on political alignment, that's dangerous territory. And later they talk about this herd mentality, the superficiality, everyone sheep, everyone blind, everyone passive. The surprising takeaway there might be that this decline isn't just about active badness. It's also about passively accepting it, this collective blindness that lets it become normal. And it makes you wonder, right, how do our own online habits maybe feed into this passive scrolling instead of really engaging? Does it make it easier to be a sheep in those echo chambers where empathy gets drowned out?
Yeah, that passive acceptance. And this concern for actually thinking critically, it leads the artist to this really interesting challenge about where our opinions even come from. They're pretty blunt about it. You don't even do no research. Your opinions are baseless. Learn how to ask a question before you go making a statement. The world's becoming complacent.
This really flags a big concern about just accepting information without checking. A kind of societal laziness in how we think. It's not just about being academic, it's about intellectual humility, isn't it? Being willing to say, I don't know, to ask questions, not just spout opinions. The insight seems to be that with so much information flying around, real wisdom isn't having all the answers, but getting good at asking the right questions. And the artist thinks that skill is missing, leading to this complacency. And this sort of intellectual passivity, they suggest, makes society vulnerable.
That's a really key point. This lack of critical thought seems foundational to their critique.
Hmm.
And then they hit you with that rhetorical question. It really stops you. When did followers become the new religion?
Wow, yeah. Connecting that to the bigger picture. The artist isn't just observing. They're delivering this really sharp insight, aren't they? That in our digital world with influencers and online tribes, hitting follow has almost become this new kind of unquestioned belief system, like a quiet shift. It's a subtle loss of individual agency, maybe, where consensus kind of becomes the creed. Instead of thinking critically, forming your own convictions, people default to being followers. They adopt beliefs because they're popular or pushed by some online figure.